All right, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about percent error. Okay, now the percent error is pretty similar to uh, the percent of change and kind of how we set it up. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this. All right, now it says up here the absolute error. Okay, the absolute error measures the difference between the approximate or the accepted value, okay, and the exact, okay, or the measured value. Okay, so basically if you're estimating, would be, I estimate it to be this, okay, the approximate value, but it turns out that it's actually this, which is the measured value. It can be solved by finding the absolute value of the difference between the approximate value, A, and the exact value, V. So if you remember, the absolute value has our bars, so A minus V. Okay? Now, it's saying the absolute value, okay, because we know that there is an error, okay? So we're wrong, we're not correct. So, and it really doesn't matter that we're below the value or above the value, okay? We just know that it is an error and we're wrong, okay? So we have two examples right here, and we can see how why it's the absolute value. A science experiment calls for 150 milliliters of water, but Simon measures out 147 milliliters. What is the absolute error? Well, in this, we're going to take what is the approximate, okay? So we'll take 150 and minus 147 because that's what he actually did, his measure, okay? So the absolute value of 150 minus 147, well, it's the absolute value of 3. Okay? So that gives us 3 milliliters. Okay? So it doesn't matter that we're positive or negative. We just know that we are what? We're 3 millimeters off. Okay? So it kind of doesn't matter if it's above or below. We just know that we measured 3 millimeters difference in our water. Okay. Look at example 2. A student measured the mass of an object to be 56 g. Okay, that's grams. Okay, so he measured that much. Okay. But the actual mass, all right, was 53 grams. Okay. So we have what it was actually. So 53 minus 56, because that's what was measured. Okay. So we get an absolute value of negative 3. Okay, so the absolute value of negative 3, well, that's just 3 grams. Okay, so it doesn't matter, like I said, it doesn't matter that it's positive or negative, because we're finding the absolute value of it anyway. Okay, so we can just basically find the difference. So we could do 56 minus 53. We just know that it is a what? It's an error, so it's wrong. It doesn't matter if it's above or below it. We just know that it's wrong. Okay? So now we're talking about the percent error. Okay? And the percent error compares the absolute error to the exact value. Okay? And we talked about, well, here's an example. When calculating the mass of an object in science, measuring the distance of an object has traveled. Okay? It can be solved using a percent error equation, kind of like how our percent proportions have been, how we did our percent of change, okay, in which the values are plugged into the formula below. All right, so the approximate and subtract the exact. This time it's over the actual, the exact. Okay, so this is percent error, which is, now in the video and if you were in person, instead of using that percent symbol, we can use n over 100. Okay, so these are the same thing. So let's look at example 3. Okay, during a school assembly, Miss Quinn takes attendance and counts 356 students. In actuality, there were 376 students. What is the percent error? Okay, so she counted, okay, 356, okay? So that's what she thought was there. So 356, all right, remember we're doing the absolute value, all right? The actual amount, the exact amount, was 376, okay? And remember, I'm going to use n for our percent, all right? And this difference here is over the actual. So this is what they actually counted, 376. Okay, so we should get, if we do the absolute value here, we should get 20 over 376 is equal to n over 100. Okay. Now, this is our proportion, so we're going to solve it the same way. We'll cross multiply. All right. If it makes it easier, you circle them. All right. And if I had colored pencils, I'd do them. Well, I do. So what's circled in red, you multiply together. What's circled in blue, you multiply together. So we have 376n is equal to 200, well, actually 2,000. All right. Divide each side by 376. Okay, this is a one-step equation. We know that we have to divide the coefficient, the number, with the variable. Okay, away. So n should give us, and we're going to round just like we have been to the nearest tenth. So 5.3%. Okay. All right, let's do the next one. All right, and like I said, we're doing the absolute value, so you can take the larger number and subtract the smaller one. Okay, you can take the actual, subtract the estimated value. All right, because we're finding the absolute value. So like I said, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. We know that there is a mistake, so it doesn't have to be, oh, we were off less than, or we were off more than. We just know we were off, in this case, 20 students. Okay. All right. Example number 4. In a crowded sports arena, 250 seats are counted. If there is a 20% error on the count, what is the range of acceptable number of seats? Okay. So we're going to take into consideration what is the range, okay? So if we're talking about the range, we're talking about a 50% error more, or a 20% error of more, or 20% error of less, okay? So we're going to set up the same way. This time we know our what? we know our percent. So 20 over 100, okay? This is how many were actually counted, okay? So that's what's counted. This is what we know, all right? And then our absolute value we can use, in this case, we'll just use x, okay? So again, we're going to cross multiply, okay? And I'm going to multiply, or I'm going to circle different colors. So 100x is equal to, well, 20 times 250 is 5,000. Okay. We want to get rid of that 100 on this side, so we divide each side by 100. X is equal to 50. All right. Now, this tells us that we were off by 50. Okay. Now, it says, what is the range? Okay. Well, we could have been 50 more than this. Okay. So we'll take what we counted and plus 50. Okay. So that's, if we were 50, if we counted 250, but there were actually 50 more, that takes us all the way up to 300. Okay. And then we can take 250 and subtract 50. Okay. So if we counted 250, but we were off 50 seats too much, well, there were actually 200 seats. Okay. So the range, when we do the range of these, we're going to take the difference and subtract what was actually counted. Okay. So this is what was counted. So we're going to add what we could have possibly been off. Okay. And see, this is the difference. Okay. We're going to add the difference, and then we will subtract the difference, and that gives us the range. So the range is 200 to 300, and we're talking about seats. Okay. Now again, if you have these printed out, make sure you're filling these in as we go. Okay. If not, take notes. All right. Pause it, write the question down, and then solve it like we did underneath. Okay. I'm hoping that circling these in different colors helps us set up our proportion, or to set this up, our one-step equation, okay, when we get down through here. Okay, so here's an example of what we will see on number 3, and you also see number 4 in the homework later. Okay, there'll be 5 questions that you're going to have to solve. All right, so not a whole lot. Tomorrow, Thursday, we are going to have an assignment that deals with percent application, which is what we did Monday. Percent change is what we did Tuesday. And today, percent error. So there's going to be 3 things on tomorrow's assignment for Thursday. Okay. Friday, we will have our quiz. All right. Next Monday and Tuesday, all right, we will have kind of a little assignment that is going to be worth maybe 15 to 20 bonus points. Okay. Now, you still have to get it right, but if you complete it and it's right, then you get 15 or 20 extra bonus points. I haven't decided yet. Okay. And it'll probably also be used as 2 days to get caught up if you're missing something. All right. When we get back after Christmas break, we are going to be going into, here's percent error. Okay. We're going to be doing simple interest. Okay. We'll spend probably 2 days on this, just because there's a little bit we can go over with this. Okay. And then we'll have a study guide for Wednesday and Thursday, the week after Christmas, and we will take a test that Friday. Okay. Other than that, if you have any questions, email me, send me a private comment on Google Classroom, and I'll be more than happy to answer for you.